Matrix begin writing national senior certificate examinations this morning, taking on the first English paper. And our reporters, eNCA's Heidi, Giokos and Nobesuthu Hejana, are currently on the ground as the first day of exams gets underway. So let's start with Heidi, who's currently in Kempton Park, where Basic Education Minister eNCA has been monitoring things at the Rhodesfield School of Specialization. Heidi and Nobesuthu, a very warm good morning to you. But Heidi, let me start with you. I mean, today kickstarts the first paper of the final examination for the matrics. I don't know if you remember, you and Nobesuthu, your first English exam paper and how that went, but we can imagine the nerves. However, it seems it might be all systems go in as far as the basic education is concerned, right?
Yes, absolutely. It is all systems go. It is currently 2 minutes past 9. So behind those closed doors, we do know that a number of learners will be writing their very first English final examination paper, matric examination paper. As you've mentioned, it's the start of the matric exam period, where we do understand that hundreds of thousands will be sitting down for their exams for this particular period. And according to the Minister of Basic Education, it is all systems go. Of course, there are a number of issues and concerns. For example, the possibility of papers being leaked. We do know that this happened last year. And the unfortunate situation here at Dumelo is that there's a probability that that could possibly happen again. With social media, we have been hearing of some WhatsApp groups that have been created. And the Minister really urging everybody to just think twice before they consider being part of any WhatsApp group or taking part in any leakage of papers of any sort, because you've spent 12 years of your life to reach this particular point. You've come this far only for you to really throw it all away if you do consider partaking in any sort of leakage of examination paper. But according to the Minister, it is all systems go, and they are really trying their best to encourage candidates that are sitting down to write their exams. When it comes to issues of load shedding, they are trying to make contingency plans to ensure that there are very little to minimal disruptions. Absolutely. Let's listen to the Minister.
Everybody was saying the Springboks have made it so holiday. And I'm sure everybody knows that this is your season. I'm Saturday. Yes. So it's your time. So we are really, and I'm sure that's what will even be the president's consideration, because he said he will consider. So he's considered, and I think he appreciates that it's not anybody's time, it's your time, which we respect, which we honor, which we really want to use. And my girls have promised me that they're going to do it. And if you have survived this far, just make it worth it. It doesn't help to stay with us for 12 years and be as good as anyone who left us almost 5 years back. Because if you don't have a matric certificate, except for your birth certificate, there's no scientific or any official evidence that you stayed with us for 12 years.
Now it makes sense why some of the learners, perhaps Heidi, were also championing for that public holiday. I mean, we've heard there from the minister saying, listen, the president had to consider whether or not, this will be feasible, given that today is the first day of matric exams, and as far as, that English paper is concerned. But we definitely saw her do the walkabout, Heidi. So it seems that it's not just for, the matriculants, but also the teachers and the support system around the learners during this time that's equally important.
Yes, definitely. I think everybody wants some time off, especially on a day like this where it's absolutely freezing. But, we'll just have to wait and see whether or not the president considers any sort of public holiday. But the consideration was definitely, given the fact that it is the first day of matric exams, this would have caused some sort of disruption and a bit of a concern for matrics that are obviously set down to write this particular paper today. But we got a chance to speak to some learners learners. And I just want to emphasize, I had an engagement with the MEC of Education in the province, Tumelo, who spoke about boot camps and spoke about extra lessons that were offered to matriculants. And he says that he also noticed that there was an increase in attendance, especially this year. Last weekend, I did a piece on a boot camp out in Tshwane, who this particular boot camp was assisting a number of learners that really were in need of extra lessons, that extra support, and not just lessons and teaching and learning that was taking place, but I also think the emotional and mental support that is needed. I mean, it's a very big time in one's life. We got a chance to speak to some learners ahead of their exams today, and this is what they had to say to us.
It has been hard. What I believe is that families are not the same. Not everyone can afford lights, generators, so it has been hard. That's why there have been extra classes for us to come and improvise for the time that we missed at home. Using candles, it's quite a challenge because you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, so load shedding has been a challenge for us.
I've been preparing for this moment, I think, for the past 12 years of my life, so I could say I am ready for them.
How have the challenges been, like load shedding, and it's bitterly cold today?
It's bitterly cold, and we're writing in a cold venue. It's been a challenge with the load shedding, having to set your schedule to study, having to balance everything all out. We leave here late, but we have to get to, at home, we need to get to school early to try and study. Like, there's a lot going on.
Well, I can say for sure, Heidi, that you're talking to some young leaders there that absolutely are aware of the challenges that they face preparing for this exam, and I wish them all the best of luck from where you stand. Let me come to Nobesuthu, Hejana. I mean, at this stage, Nobesuthu, you're in a different area from where Heidi is. What are some of the issues from where you stand leading up today? Or are you hearing good news about students and teachers, as well as the Department of Education, being ready?
Well, Tumelo, we do know that in the Western Cape, more than 76,000 candidates are writing today. This includes the full-time as well as the part-time pupils that are sitting for their first paper on this hot day in Cape Town. But we also spoke to some pupils earlier on who were saying that, I mean, in as much as they're excited, they're anxious, they are hopeful that they will do their best as the future. They want to provide for their families and have big aspirations of passing grade 12 and going to tertiary. But we're also speaking now to Satu, because it's not only the learners that are under pressure, it's the teachers who are also asking the support from the parents to also chip in. Ms. Ingrid, just tell us about today. Obviously, the teachers have done their part and they will continue throughout these exams. Tell us about the support that you are asking for from the parents or the guardians who are also looking out for their children.
Good morning, everyone. Satu Western Cape would like to wish the class of 2023 all of the best. We believe that there has been quite a bit of support in terms of camps, in terms of teacher support at schools, principals going the extra mile to ensure that learners have weekend classes, attend holiday classes. And we want to say to them, it's in your hands now. This will unlock the gate for your future in terms of higher education. So basically, from today onwards, it's in your hands. Teachers have done what they needed to do. To all teachers, and particularly our members, we want to say thank you very much for the hard work that you've put in. We know that it's been a tough 3 years because this journey didn't start in 2023. It started in 2020, 21, 22, and 23. But what makes this group very, very special is that in 2020 and 2021, they suffered extreme learning losses. And teachers were then asked and tasked to ensure that learning losses were made up. And I think teachers have done everything in their power and their ability to ensure that they prepare the class of 2023 successfully and that they did their best to ensure that they could do what they want to do. Then to our communities, Satu has a campaign called I'm a School Fan campaign that calls on all structures in communities and we ask community involvement through this campaign to support communities to ensure that learning and teaching take place in our schools. And so SATU Western Cape, particularly at this point, are asking our communities, remember, it takes a village to raise a child, that this group of matriculants, the class of 2023, that you give them all the support that we can possibly give to them in the next few days leading up until the 5th of December. We ask that they don't face unnecessary stress in their homes or in the communities. We also ask our communities, please do not use the matric exams as a pawn for service delivery protests to deal with government. Please wait till our matriculants are finished writing exams and then you apply pressure to government. Do not use the matric exams, please, pretty please. To the class of 2023, you've come through lots of adversity, as I've indicated. You've come through COVID 2020. You've come through a taxi strike in this province. You've come through protest delivery strikes in this province. You've done what you've needed to do to ensure that you are prepared. Go and make us proud, and go and make your families and communities proud. We wish you all of the best, and we know that you will be successful. Looking forward to the 18th of January when the results are made public and we can celebrate your successes. To those that are feeling that this is just too much for them, go and speak to your principal, go and speak to your teacher. There is help available. You must just speak. And then we also want to just appeal to our learners. Learners disqualified because of cell phones. Please leave your cell phones at home or hand it in in the morning. It is not worth you being disqualified for an exam because you know what the rules are. We also ask for the class of 2023, do not be tempted to buy an exam paper that could possibly have leaked out. It is not worth your future. And so we ask you on this beautiful, bright, sunny morning that your future, we pray, we hope, we are doing everything possible to ensure that you have a safe matric exam period, that nothing gets in the way. We're also appealing to ESCOM to please play with. Our children need to write exams under conditions that is conducive. And so with that said, class of 2023, the matric exams is in your hands.
All right, thank you very much. That was Ms. Ingrid, who is the Provincial Education Convener of SATU in the Western Cape. We also spoke to one pupil ahead of her exam this morning. Her name is Bilkis, and this is what she had to say about how she's been dealing with the pressure and how she's hopeful that she will do best to ensure that her family is catered for after writing her exams.
Previous years, okay, I tried my best, but not like my best. Thus, I told myself I have to work hard, it's a must. And then I always tried working through past papers, that's one of the best things to do. And also, I studied like before the time, not near to the time, and I don't like to study under pressure. And also, yeah, and I attend after classes, Saturday classes at Bridgetown. And
well, definitely we can hear there, Nobesuthu, that the young people are quite ready to not only write the exams, but also just kickstart their lives post-matric and actually empower themselves, their families and their communities. We'll continue placing a close eye on these issues and more, and all my thanks to you colleagues, Heidi, Giokos out in Kempton Park, and Nobesuthu Hejana in the Western Cape, giving us, of course, a glimpse of what is happening at some of the schools in as far as, that first paper English starting today, and also teachers rallying behind with a lot more advice for the learners in terms of keeping their cell phones at home, making sure that they do not cheat, they're not tempted to buy any papers that would lead to them being, of course, disqualified from writing exams. All the problems you really don't want because you've come this far and you're almost at the end. But we'll continue, of course, updating you on how the matric exam day one is going right here on eNCA.